What is up, YouTube? Welcome back to another topic of the day. It is going to be about the Kai Cenat situation. Now, usually I don't like going over dating, but recently going over the video and stuff like that, and just like it's kind of educational with this generation, and everyone's talking about it. So I just want to give my partake on it because I do find interest in it. So basically, I think it is a lesson for a lot of guys to be aware of like the type of girls that you want, and not expecting that you think money is going to be able to solve all those issues and stuff like that. They said you can't unlame somebody with money. That saying goes a long way because I say when we was younger, there's a point in time where we always fantasize, especially in cartoons and stuff like that. Where, like, once you get rich, you get all the girls, and it's like it's just no big problem. But like you got to think about it. It's only one aspect of it. Now, say if you had that type of persona where like you was a cool guy that didn't have to rely on money to get girls, and it's like a bonus towards your lifestyle. But if you need money to get girls, or to have this luxurious lifestyle, that means you're lacking in something that's important with it, like your own characteristics that you have to work on. And I do believe that if you don't work on those characteristics like self-confidence, self-belief, and how you just carry yourself as a man and stuff like that, I think those are the core elements that gives off the attraction that you are trying to go for. So it's one of those main things that, like, yeah, money could make you look flashy, but then like if you're leading with that, they're gonna be expecting that. So it's just like, oh, I'm gonna buy you this, I'm gonna buy you that, and trying to buy a girl, her way, her love, and all that. It's not gonna work. It's not gonna fly. You can only go by so far until you come face to reality. And let's face it, it's gonna happen sooner or later. And like the whole thing of like expecting money to change everything. I mean, yeah, like I said, when you was a kid, like it was, you thought about it, but then in reality, it's just like you yourself as the man in a relationship have to be the leading one. You have to have those characteristics of a leader, a strong, independent person that knows how to guide a situation and guide a relationship and be able to guide themselves first, because it's like without that characteristic you won't be able to get that far. And it's very humbling to go through that, but it's just what comes if you don't have those characteristics. That's why it's like, you can focus on like looks maxing and trying to like improve your physique and like money and all that stuff. But just if you don't work on those core elements alone, you will come face to face with reality. And oftentimes not, like you will hear like even famous guys or like rich guys or some stuff like that will get cheated on because it's just like they don't offer that pizzazz, that energy of the leadership that women are most likely looking for in a man. So if you're lacking those things, it's going to be a big problem for you later down the line. And I do believe that, working on that before you get rich, I think that's the most important thing. Because right now, I'm in a point in my life, and I'm pretty sure we're all in a point in lives where we're not really making that much money. We want to have like, this and that, the materialistic stuff, not just to impress people, but just to, I mean, okay, yeah, I would say not to just impress girls, but just impress ourselves. I mainly look at it for myself. Like I want to be able to, do have better clothes and have better outfits and a better job schedule and making more money so I can support my family and myself and my dreams and aspirations. So, girls come along, that's fine, that's cool. But the main source is I want to do this for myself. But when you switch that idea into doing it for women and stuff like that, it all changes. So it's just like there's no structure behind it, and that will collapse sooner or later, without you realizing it. But that's the main thing. It's just like you cannot rely on money to save you in these relationships. It is crazy. And then just like in certain videos, when I would see Kai and now the ex is, was reacting and stuff like that, it's just like she kept challenging him. Now, personally, for me, I've been through stuff like that where, say for example, like they was in the car and then like, his ex was saying to Kai, like, you gonna buy me this bag, right? You gonna give me this bag, and this bag costs hundreds of thousands of dollars and stuff like that. And Kyle was like, nah, I ain't gonna do all that. And it's like, what you mean you ain't gonna do all that? And then like it was going back and forth. Now, in a leadership type of relationship where the man wears the pants, you say one thing and that's it. There shouldn't be no this fucking negotiation towards anything. And because I've been in that situation myself where I was with a girl and she wanted me to buy her something or take her out or do something that was expensive, and it's just like it's early in the game. You know how like they ask you to be doing stuff and it's like so early in the game to be doing it, and they're like, come on, why don't you do it? Why don't you do it? And I'm like, well, because it's early. I mean, yeah, I ain't gonna tell them that, but it's just like it's fucking logic, you know. It's like I'm not gonna take you out somewhere early, and then it's spend all this money, and then just now you expect me to do that because once you put that bar that I'm gonna do this for you, you have to keep that consistent, and that's the unfortunate part about that. So it's just like, yeah, of course, in this situation, he has it to do it, but it's just like the consistency of that because eventually, buying stuff for her isn't gonna make her feel the need to like let me say this, it's not going to make her feel like secured completely. It's just like, okay, that's nice, but I want that security that a man will provide. That's what they're truly looking for. Yeah, that's what they're truly looking for. And if you can't really provide that, then it's just a big issue. And being in a relationship with a girl that was just asking the most out of me, and I was doing financially better than her and all that stuff, and it's doing more, going to the gym and doing everything I can. It's just like the mindset part. It's like they got to be on the same mindset. You can't have a girl that you're doing everything for, and it's just like you expect that to be easy. Unfortunately, and I was humbled by this too because this shit caught me off guard. It's like you would think like you're doing all this stuff too, and this is we got to be careful about this because okay, so you think getting your own apartment, your own place, you have your own job, your own career going on, you have all this stuff going for yourself. You work your ass off to do this, and you bring this girl that doesn't have nearly half of her own thing going on, but you think like, okay, I'm doing more than her. Obviously, it would be more respect, and some cases are, hopefully that they do respect you, but what we hear mostly, and no one really says this stuff, but what we hear mostly is that the guy could have everything going right, but then the girl still finds something that's unsatisfied, and she, oh, he just doesn't fulfill my desires, and he just, this and that. He doesn't. I'm not satisfied, and just like all this stuff that goes on. It's just mainly that part of not being the leadership role model or the man, because it's like it's like if you don't have that trait, then it's going to be a big issue, and they're going to find it from something else. And that's where all the goofy shit happens in a relationship, where they keep challenging you, testing you, talking to you crazy and all that shit, and you always got to put them in check, and then you always got to be like, why are you doing this, why is she doing that? And it's just like, then they start going distant and shit, and you trying to get you guys back together, and it's just like all these fucking little problems that you gotta unfortunately go through while trying to build something. And it's a big headache, and it's just like, well, why am I going through this? I have all my stuff together, and it's like, it's not even celebrities are really like in the safe hole, because I was watching this video from Low Tier God. He was a great YouTuber. He'd be spitting facts on, I think, him and Steph is Code and FitX and Austin Dunham. I think the most, like, you learn a lot from watching people like that. Like they have, especially Low Tier and Steph is Cold, because it's like the way how they break down relationships, like the role models and what you have to be as the man in a relationship, the guy with the pants. It's like that plays such an important role into relationships as a whole, that without that, like, that substance, it's just, it won't be any structure, and things will collapse into being unfortunate. I sound like a fucking mad scientist right now, but I just just going from a oh fuck these, I don't like talking like this. What you mainly hear from a lot of these YouTubers or people like fuck these bitches ain't shit, and I'm just like, I don't want to come off like that, but I don't really like thinking in that one lane, one term. It's just I want to be able to have an understanding, because it's never, it's like I don't want to fully put the blame on girls, but I want to like put the blame on ourselves as guys, because guys, we do lack that experience, and some guys lack the credibility and the leadership skills that they need to be able to be successful in a relationship. And I was in that myself, where where I was with a girl, and then she was testing me every second, and just joking around and stuff. But it's just those little moments that really add up to something, expecting the most out of me, and I was doing everything I can that I thought was going to be able to make her happy. And it's just, you're trying to. It's not like you don't. It's crazy too. It's not like you don't give a shit, and his relationship went to shit. It's like you're actually trying and putting in effort, and just like she's just, you're like losing her. It's like, what's going on? Like, why am I losing this person? I'm doing everything I can. Like, what's going on? And it's just like, that's the main the lack of leadership and just being with the wrong girl in general too, like, just leaving. That's a whole nother thing. And seeing those red flags, it's like she's materialistic and asking for stuff in the early stages of relationship, just leave. And it's like, yeah, it's just that abundance mindset too. It's just, you got to have I like, she may look good, things may be fine for the moment, but I know if this keeps up, there will be a time that sooner or later, I will be faced with the truth, and I would have to be able to hold myself accountable and be like, okay, I saw the red flags. Because, dudes, come on, let's be honest. We see red flags all the time, but it's just, we don't feel like I'm gonna go. We're trying to make it work, and it's just, it's not gonna work. But it's the options part and the abundance mindset. You know damn well that relationship isn't gonna work, but you're like, whoa, fuck it, let's try it. And then it's just like, you try, and it's just red flag after red flag after red flag. This and that, this and that, this and that. It's just like, my God, like, come on, you gotta lock in. So, you know, we're all young. It's a different generation to date, and it's just a lesson to be learned. And just working on your characteristics. And I don't think just having one thing is gonna solve everything. You want to be balanced. Not saying like you don't have to work on yourself, but you want to be a balanced character. That's something that FitX preaches about, because it's like being well balanced. It's like being a fighting game character, or a character in a game where they have their stats is well balanced. Like, yeah, sure, they have weaknesses, but then you guess what? Instead of in a game the weaknesses are stuck the way they are by default, you can actually work on them, and then you can actually buff them up, and then work on everything at the same time. So you may have a great body but poor mindset. You can do both. You have a great mind but poor body. You can work on both. You have a great body, great mind. Well, great. You can work on your finances and work on other stuff, and it'll be a little bit more easier for yourself. So there's ways to improve on this, but I just want to get my reasons on this, basically. And yeah, thank you guys for listening. And yeah, have a good one. Make sure you like and subscribe, and peace.